So it's time to get together, it's time to unite. This is a very exciting time for the state of Illinois, and I'm more excited than anything to introduce our special guest, who's a guy who knows a little about unity and getting the job done. We thought about who we'd invite. All I thought about who knows how to win and who knows how to unify. There's no better example of that than our guest speaker, who took over the Republican National Committee in 1992 when we were a party adrift. Newt Gingrich may have been the mouthpiece for the revolution, but Haley Barbour got it paid for. Now he's the head of the Republican Governors Association and a highly successful governor in the state of Mississippi. There's an old saying, good government is good politics. What was your vote total last time? 60%? 59%. So with a great deal of pride, I introduce the governor of the great state of Mississippi, Governor Haley Barbour.
Everybody here, congratulations. To those up here who won the nomination, or still in the nomination contest, I should say, congratulations. Congratulations to everybody here, whether you're a Republican or an independent or a Tea Party-ite or any other kind of concerned citizen, because I come here firmly convinced and confident that this year Illinois is going to elect a new Republican governor and a new Republican senator. I want to make very plain at the outset that there is no question in my mind, whichever of these two men wins our nomination, either one of them can win in November. And will win. As I told some folks earlier, when I look at the Senate race, I fully believe Mark Hurt's going to be strong as an acre of garlic. Right candidate, right time. I was coming down a hall that was very loud and congested, and some of you may have noticed there were a bunch of reporters there. One of them was trying to ask me, would the Republicans be able to unify themselves this fall? My own view is that what the Democrats have done in Illinois in the last 8 years is what unifies Republicans this fall. I mean, when you hear about income tax increases, when you hear about gigantic deficits, when you hear about that 1,700 convicts out on the street here in Illinois, and then you look just next door to Indiana, a state not very much different from yours, where the Republican governor inherited a deficit. He got rid of that right in anybody's taxes. Where they've got surpluses in Indiana, where Illinois is 48th to the bad in losing jobs, they're gaining jobs. Competence matters. Execution matters. Illinois wants a governor that can get the job done, and that shouldn't be a surprise after you look at the last 8 years. And we're going to give them a candidate that gets the job done for everybody in Illinois, and frankly for everybody in the country. Don't misunderstand. Illinois is important. Illinois is important not just because President Obama happens to be from Illinois. Illinois is important to America's economy. It's important to what happens in the center of our country. And we're looking to Illinois to set an example, both in the governor's race and in the Senate race and down the ticket. And with so many of these legislative candidates that I've met, I want to just remind you that Pat talked about when I was chairman of our party. I can tell you what you learn when you're chairman of one of the two great political parties in the world. By definition, in a two-party system, both parties are coalitions. That's just the way it is. Twice in my lifetime, our candidate for president has got almost 60% of the vote for president. And for a party to have a candidate do that, it's got to be a big party. We can't ever make it that you have to agree with Barbour on everything to be a good Republican. There are millions and millions of good Republicans who don't agree with me on everything, but they make tremendous contributions to our party and more important to our country. So as we start getting ready for November, I want to remind you of what my old boss, Ronald Reagan, used to say. He used to say, remember, a fellow agrees with you 80% of the time, he's your friend and ally, he's not some 20% traitor. We're in for a big year in Illinois if we work together, recognize whoever we nominate is far, far superior to the Democrat alternative. And we have to look at that. In November, it's going to be a race between two people. One of the two is going to end up being your governor, your senator, your congressman, your state treasurer, whatever it is. And that's the choice. The choice is not, could we have somebody that would have been pure? Could we have somebody who'd been taller, thinner? Thank goodness we don't have the thin room where I come from. The question is, we have two people running. And which of the two is better for Illinois and for our country? I am fully convinced from what's happened here that choice is not even going to be close. That it is very clear that we're putting up the superior candidates who've got the competence, who'll get the job done. But just because you got the best candidate doesn't make it automatic you're going to win. It's going to take a lot of work. A lot of work by people like you. A lot of people who yesterday were working very hard against each other in primaries, who next week are going to have to be working very hard together for what's good for Illinois, for what's good for America. And I have every confidence that you can do that. At the end of the day, I want you to know the Republican Governors Association is committed to this race. We think whomever wins the nominations winner in November, we're going to be there for them. But I want to close by reminding you of this. We can help at the margins, but you in Illinois are going to decide who the next governor is, who the next senator is. And even though we've got clearly superior candidates, it's not going to be easy. The other side, they know they've got their back to the wall. They've been here running everything for 8 years. They're running everything in Washington. Some of these labor unions are going to gush out money to try to keep the powers they've got. You got to work hard. I don't care if you're in Chicago or DuPage County or in Marion, Illinois, or Carbondale or wherever you are. It's going to take hard work and a lot of between now and November, but I want to come back in November when it's a night of celebration.